What's up, guys? D from No Wheel Drive here, and today I'm just going to be talking about kind of why I got the S5 and the competition I looked at when I was kind of debating on which one I was going to get, and my thought process and maybe what the future holds in store. So the car I had before the S5, I've had the S5 for about 6 months now, and before I had the E90 335i with the N54 engine. And basically the reason I got out of that car, I liked the mechanical features of the car. It was really fun, it was really quick, but long story short, the car basically just died on me. I happened to get a bad one, and just thing after thing went wrong. I was in the BMW shop so much that literally when I went to the service department in South Atlanta BMW, when I walked in, they'd just be like, "Oh, hey, Mr. Johnson, you back again?" So it was at that point when I walked in and they just already knew who I was in the service department, and I was like, yeah, it's time to get rid of the car. So that's when I kind of seriously begun my search for something else. And so I've narrowed it down to 4 competitors. There was other stuff in the mix, your Mustangs and a couple other things, but the 4 serious contenders were the C63, the last generation, so the 507 one or whatever, the Camaro SS 2016, the S5, and the 435i. So let's start with the C63. I test drove it and I really liked it. It's a really powerful engine, really beastly. That AMG isn't playing no games with anybody, and it sounds ridiculous. But what I didn't like about the C63 was the transmission was garbage. Like when you tried to shift, it would do it like years later or just wouldn't even shift. And also what I didn't like, I wasn't sold on the looks actually, that's another thing. So it's really three things. The transmission, I wasn't sold on the looks. It looks kind of outdated now. You can make them look good, you can make them look aggressive with wheels and stuff, but just with nothing added, they're not the best looking car. And third was the price. It's still an AMG, so in order to get one around the price range of those other cars I was talking about, it was gonna have to be a bit older than the rest of them. So I didn't want an old AMG or one with a lot of miles on it, because that would defeat the purpose and put me back in the same boat of having a German car with a lot of miles on it that was unreliable. So that's pretty much why I didn't go with the C63. A newer one would have cost too much, so didn't want to spend that much of the time. So next contender was the 2016 SS Camaro. So I test drove this car and it was really fun, it was really fast. Like as far as speed and performance goes, it'll blow the other 3 contenders out of the water. Maybe not the C63, but as far as the S5 and the 435 go, hands down the Camaro's winning every single time. But when I test drove it, it was fun. I test drove the 8-speed auto. It was pretty quick with the shifts. The actual shifts happen quick when you let it do it itself, but almost the same as with the AMG, the paddles weren't the most responsive. I don't know if I've got spoiled by driving Calvin's dual clutch and I'm just used to how those paddles respond, and maybe they're not that bad and his is just that good. I don't know, but the paddle response wasn't the best. While it wasn't as bad as the AMG, it wasn't the best. And also a major factor why I didn't get the SS is I would have had to get a brand new one at the time, because this was toward the end of 2016. So, well, not toward the end, toward the middle. So they had just come out with the Camaro, and I didn't want to buy a brand new car. I don't really believe in buying brand new cars. I believe in getting slightly used ones and letting somebody else take that depreciation hit. So that was a major factor, is at the time there were no used 16 SS's to be found, and the 15 SS's are garbage. So that's mainly why I didn't go with the SS. Oh, and also the interior of the SS, it doesn't feel quite up to par yet. While they've come a long way, when you sit in a Camaro, like, you never misjudge it for a German car or for a really nice car, even a Lexus. It's still very American in its texture and setup. And even the exterior of the Camaro, it looks really aggressive and sexy, but it's almost slightly childish in the way it looks. Like, there's no elegance to how the Camaro looks. Whereas the other two competitors, even the Mercedes, so the other three competitors, have a touch of class and elegance to go along with their sleek and kind of aggressive look. So those are the three main reasons I didn't go with the SS. Is I would have had to get a brand new one, even though brand new the price was the same as a used one of the other three cars. So, but still, I just didn't want to get a brand new car. The interior and how it looked, and while the 8-speed, it was pretty good, but it still wasn't up to par with the dual clutch. So, yeah. So then next on the list was the 435, and it pretty much came down to these two because, like I said, I pretty much eliminated the first two. So it was between the 435i BMW and the Audi S5. And the things I liked about the 435 was I liked how it looked slightly better than the S5 as far as the exterior goes. Slightly better on the exterior looks. Also, I liked that it was rear-wheel drive, but I also liked that the Audi was all-wheel drive, and I'll get into that. I like both. And I liked that you could tune it. That was a big thing, because the S5, you cannot tune it. Like, if you touch the ECU on any of Audi's cars, then you immediately lose your warranty. Like, there's no, like, if you even look at the ECU, then your warranty's done. So tuning the Audi wasn't an option. Stasis has went out of business. That was the one tuning kind of conglomerate that had an affiliation with the Audi dealers, but Stasis has gone out of business, so there is no tuning. But BMW still has the JB4 and the Dynan and those options. So that was a big thing. The rear-wheel drive, you could have a little bit more fun with the S5, with the 435, I'm sorry. You could have a little bit more fun with the 435, let the tail spin out. But the things I liked about the S5 was I actually liked the Quattro. When I test drove it, it was very confidence inspiring. Through the turns, you never slip, never start to wobble at all. And I like the interior of the S5 better. So I like the 435 exterior better, the S5's interior better. I'll put some interior shots in here, but the carbon fiber bits, they look really good. Everything feels immaculate in here. The Napa leather feels really good, comfortable seats. So I like that about the S5. And also, I like the headlights better on the S5. Even though the halos on the 435 look good, I like the, I don't know what shape it is, but the Audi daytime running lights make it look really sleek. So I love those. There were things I liked about both, and pretty much the reason I ended up going with the S5 is simply because I got a good deal on this one. That's pretty much about it. If I had got the same deal on the 435, I probably would have went with the 435, but a guy traded this one in. He had leased it. He had it for 3 years, only put 18,000 miles on it. It looked immaculate. I mean, there was not a scratch anywhere, no sign that anyone had ever owned the car. He garaged it. After I got it, people thought it was a brand new car. So that's why I usually like to get used cars. 'Cause I mean, in essence, it looks the same, but someone else took that depreciation hit. So. But I got a really good deal on the S5, and I took it, and also it was a stick, which I wanted too. The dual clutch in the S5, that's the one I test drove, had a dual clutch. It was okay, probably in between the C63 and the BMW. Audi's dual clutch probably falls in the middle. It's passable, nothing really to complain too much about, but not as good as the BMW M3s. But that's pretty much why I ended up going with the S5. And like it so far. Had zero problems with it. I don't think I'm gonna do any major modifications to it, simply because I'm in a bit better position now. So I may move out of it this year into something else. Not quite sure which route I'm gonna go with that. I'm gonna make a whole separate video about that, which route I may go with my next car purchase. So stay tuned for that. But all in all, that's why I got the S5. Let me know, out of those competitors, which one you would have taken if you would have chose something else, like maybe the Mustang GT or maybe another car, comment below. Let me know. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. And this has been another episode of 229 No Wheel Drive. Catch y'all next time.
It's for